aften. Der er ikke rigtig noget formål med den her stream. Det var stille og rolig hygge. Kører løb i morgen aften forhåbentlig. Hvis jeg kan få lille manden til at sove hurtigt. Så hvis der er nogen, der gerne vil køre med, så bare kom ind. Kører en time til halvanden, tror jeg. Så med den gruppe, du har anmodet om at blive medlem af, den bruger jeg ikke mere. Den bliver snart slettet. Sindssygt dårligt vejr udenfor. Det føles som om jeg får vand i nakken nogle gange. YouTube i baggrunden. Jeg kan lige se de nyeste GCN-videoer. Det går tiden lidt hurtigere. Nej, jeg har ikke fået skiftet endnu, men jeg har det liggende. Det kører godt nok, men når man kører med boks, som jeg gør, så larmer det generelt en lille smule mere. Jeg får det nok skiftet i morgen, tror jeg. Men det var også dumt. Det er min egen skyld, at jeg har slidt det skævt. Det var min udendørs kæde, som jeg kørte videre på den nye kassette, da jeg fik min Neo. Og det sjove var, at det kørte egentlig fint i en måned til halvanden, så begyndte den at takke over. Så nu er jeg også tvunget til at skifte kassetten på min landevejshjul. Den koster kun et par tusind. Og en ny kæde til den også. Så ja. Det er ikke som man siger til konen, når man først har cyklen, så er det en billig sport. Jeg håber ikke hun ser med. Nej, jeg skal ikke køre løb, Thomas. Min pulsmåler, den ligger inde i skuffen. Det er bare hygge. Jeg skal bare lige have nogle kilometer i benene. Jeg har ikke kørt siden torsdag. Den er ved at være varm. Jeg kan snart have tændt for nogle blæser. Jeg tror lige, jeg gør det, når jeg kommer op på toppen. Jeg gør det, når jeg triller ned. Skulle nødig tabe fart unødigt. Ikke nogen rekorder i dag. Selvom det var en kort en, den her. Nu får jeg snart tid til at gå efter den forpulede Tron-bike. 5 arbejdsdage tilbage. op, og Super Turkey. Kom så. Den er da ikke stejl nok her. Kom nu.
Right on! Hammer time!
Hammer time.
This is the Pinarello Bolide TT bike belonging to current world time trial champion Rowan Dennis. Rowan himself, well, he's got a list of results as long as my arm. He's won, like I've already said, the World Time Trial Championship. He's won it twice. He's been an hour record holder. He's won a stage at each and every Grand Tour, and he's probably held the leader's jersey at each one too. I know definitely the Giro and the Tour, and I reckon the Vuelta. He's also won gold medals on the track too, and he's a resident here in Adelaide, so I thought whilst I'm here at the Santos Tour Down Under, let's go and check out his bike. And he's been very kind and loaned it to me for the day. Let's start then with the frame and forks. As I've already said, it's the Bolide TT, which is an evolution of the previous model, just the Bolide. And in doing so, they've actually reduced the weight by 350 grams, which is an awful lot on a time trial bike because they're not always the lightest bikes out there. How they've done it though is through widespread use of Toroica 1100 fibre. So that's the carbon type that's been used, and they've laid it up in such a way that stiffness has been increased in certain areas and weight has been decreased in other areas of the frame where it doesn't need to be quite so stiff. The frame itself actually has two sets of bottle mounts here. So we've got one there in the standard position, right down by the bottom bracket, and then there's another one a little bit further up, but it's not really going to be used for a bottle cage because if you look here, they're actually a bit closer than standard. So it's going to be used for maybe attaching something else. Quite what? I don't know. Maybe you could use it in a triathlon, but there is a triathlon version of this bike out there too. Now this frame does feature some interesting bits on it, which I'll get into very shortly. Let's have a look at them. Let's start then with the handlebars. They're from Pinarello's own brand, which is Most, or Most, depending on which way you like to pronounce your words. They are a pretty standard setup, really. There's nothing untoward about the shape or curvature of the handlebars. They're just a flat cow horn or bull horn type bar. When we look at the actual TT extensions, though, where they come up from this base bar, there is a fair amount of spacers there. I suppose it's probably around about 5.5 centimetres, with the upper spacer actually takes an angle, and that enables the actual extensions to be up at an angle. Remember, years ago, riders used to get super low at the front end, thinking, well, that's the most aerodynamic position. Possibly it is, but they weren't able to unleash quite as much power. So there's a position now which a lot of riders tend to take, and they call it the praying mantis position. Rowan, he's kind of in that, I guess you could say. If we look at the extensions, well, we've got a pair of Shimano R671 shifters on the end of them. They have two buttons on each, so he can control his rear mech with the right hand one, or his front mech with the left hand, or swap it around. You can configure these buttons every which way you like it. In between the extensions here, we've got a bar which is kind of takes into position, and then we've got a GPS mount on there too, which has been nicely trimmed down. It looks like they would have used that on a standard road handlebar, but it's been put on there. You can see where the mechanics just kind of cut through that with a Dremel or something similar. So obviously Rowan can keep an eye on his data as he's riding along. The pads on the elbow pads, they're not too cushioned out. Some of the riders I looked at bikes of last year, they were really big. This is kind of standard. Now there is a little white dot on one of them, and that must be for some kind of measurements with the mechanics of the team. I'm not that sure. There is also a couple of dots around on this bike, so I think he's had a bike fit recently, because it looks like something from the Retool design, the Retool bike scanning, just these little dots that are on there. I don't know. The TT extensions, they can be lengthened or shortened to your heart's content within the UCI's regulations, of course, and they're not fixed in position with any Allen bolts, which is standard on lots of equipment. Instead, it's a kind of a knurled nut. It's a couple of flaps on either side, probably, I reckon, about a 28mm. God, I'm getting really geeky with this bike. On the ends of the handlebars, base bar, we've got the Shimano Dura Ace levers down there, which of course have the Di2 integration on there. We've also got some grip tape on the handlebars, both extensions and base bar for Rowan. No handlebar tape on there. He's obviously quite a minimalistic guy when it comes to this. And the Di2 cables that just poke out and run internally inside of that bar. Nice. It's getting ever so windy. Wired up then to those Di2 shifters is a pair of Shimano Dura-Ace Di2 derailleurs, both front and rear. Let's talk about gearing then. We've got a whopping 56-tooth chainring on there. Not the biggest in the peloton, but certainly not the smallest. And the inner ring on that is a 44. That's paired up with the Shimano Dura-Ace set on the rear of 11 to 30. It's becoming increasingly common, actually, to see 32 sprockets on there, particularly with sprinters and also time trial riders too, because it enables them to stay in the big ring for just a little bit longer. A lot of riders believe to do that just because it's slightly more efficient, and it stops them from momentarily dropping from one chainring to the other. Now the bike's power meter is from Shimano, and it's a dual-sided one. And interestingly as well is that Pinarello have decided to use the Italian bottom bracket standard on this bike. One of the few brands who actually still do that on their bikes. Yeah. There's also on the left-hand pedal, this is where things get a little bit interesting really. I'm going to have to ask Rowan exactly why this is. But anyway, there's a pedal extender, so the axle on it is slightly longer than on the right-hand side, probably by about a centimetre, believe it or not. Now, those pedals are Shimano Dura Ace SPDSL and the 9100 model. I'm going to try and find out what cleats it's got. Just the more you find out about people, it's really interesting. Wheels-wise, we've got a pair of Shimano wheels. Well, arguably, because Pro, which is the rear wheel, is part of Shimano's own brand. But the front one then, Shimano Dura Ace C60. Fitted onto it is a Continental Competition Pro Limited ALX tubular tyre. So that's got a latex inner tube inside of there. And it's 25 millimetres in width. The one on the rear, on that Pro Techstream disc wheel, that's the Continental Podium TT Limited. Again, that's got a latex inner tube inside of it and a slightly different file pattern tread on there. I remember racing on those many years ago on the track, although mine were 19 millimetres and they didn't have a latex inner tube. The Pros, they get all the good stuff. That rear wheel is held in place in those dropouts horizontally, so they're backwards facing, in fact, so similar to that you'd find on a track bike. And the way that mechanics can easily line up that wheel is thanks to some knurled adjusters inside of the dropouts, which enable you to kind of twist them, and then the little rod inside will match up against the axle, meaning you essentially can't pull the wheel over once you've got them lined up and set up. Now, something really interesting about that too is that those dropouts are actually aluminium, so they're not carbon. You tend to see a lot of full carbon dropouts, but probably because on a TT bike, a lot of riders like to really torque up the quick release skewers so they don't lose any power whatsoever. So by having an aluminium dropout instead of a standard carbon one, you're going to do it less damage, I guess, if you really do torque it up. Whilst we talk about the dropouts, well, the front ones here, they do have these wings or these tabs which enable the airflow just to go over it a little bit smoother, so just cleaning out that dirty air. The brake calipers, they aren't Shimano Dura Ace. In fact, they are unique to this bike. They're Pinarello's own design, so they're fully integrated with the frame, and there is also an aerodynamic fairing here, so they're just beneath that. You just have to take that off with a little grub screw in there, then you can start to work on them. Brake pads in there are Shimano's too, and they're the carbon-specific model to aid braking on carbon rims. Nice. Set up really smooth. Finishing touches on a TT bike, pretty sparse to be perfectly honest. There's not that much you can do with it, and if anything, riders want to keep the bikes as clean as possible. But we've got a Physique Aris saddle up there on top of the Pinarello's own brand seat post. No carbon rails on there, just the standard alloy ones. We've got an Elite bottle cage. I'm not sure on the exact model of it. It could be a Vico of some sort, but it takes a different shape. But I reckon it could well be a new Kit Chrono, because it's certainly not the same diameter as a standard bottle cage on that, because Elite do make a certain bottle designed for TTs. In fact, there's two out there. There's one with dimples, and then there's another one which is just a shrunken down version of a normal bottle. There's also quite a bit of electrical tape going on this bike to try and smooth out any holes, because on the base bar here you can actually move the TT extension, so the stack, across about 3 or 4 centimetres, so those holes, they've been covered up. Likewise have the bolt holes where the fairings go on the brakes, both front and rear. There's also one here on the top cap of the headset too, and there's a couple more bits and pieces too that have been covered up here and there. I love attention to detail. I might actually speak to Ryan, one of the mechanics, and tell him there's a load of holes underneath the elbow pads there too. Now, we've already mentioned about the World Champ stripes as well in the intro, but on the top tube there is some more information too, including the date that he won his most recent world title, the time it took him to do it, and also the GPS coordinates on there too. So if ever he wants to go and relive it, you could easily type those into his GPS and, well, find the same place. That, though, really is about it for all of the finishing details on this bike. Let's talk weights and measurements then. Well, Rowan, he stands at 1.82 m, which is just a fraction under 6 feet tall. So his saddle height, from the top of the saddle to the centre of the bottom bracket, is 78 centimetres. Then the tip of the saddle here to the centre of the elbow pads is 57 centimetres, and the drop, now this one I'm going to have to explain how I came to it, from the top of the saddle down to the centre of the elbow pads, that's just 10 centimetres, showing that nobody slams it anymore. Well, a few still do. Now the weight of the bike, that comes in at 8 kilos on the dot. Sadly, the mechanic who I loaned them to, a couple of days ago, my scales that is, I haven't been able to track him down, but I did borrow someone else's. And finally, the Freehub sound check, the moment you've all been waiting for. Although it is going to sound slightly different to what it would when it's rumbling down the road. But hey, let's have a listen. Nice. Oh, it's windy. There we are, the bike of Rowan Dennis. Let me know what you think of it in the comment section down below. I have been told he's going to be expecting a new pair of triathlon extension bars going onto that bike pretty soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that one. As ever, as well, remember to like and share this video with your friends. Don't forget to check out the GCN shop at shop.globalcyclingnetwork.com. And also, why not head on over to the App Store and download the GCN app so you can get involved with loads of great content on that. And now, for 2 more great videos, how about clicking on the links on screen right now?
The thing I hear a lot is, LA sucks for riding. But the truth is that after digging in quite a bit, I found out that LA might not actually stink for riding that much, because Saxo Bank, currently Geraint Thomas, we've even heard Peter Sagan, back in the day Lance Armstrong, have all called this place home to preseason training camps. So I put together, with some help from a lot of friends, a perfect day out here in California to check out some of the cool amenities, people that put this place on the map, the community that speaks here, and, well, I definitely didn't cover everyone, but I think I did a pretty good job at showing off just how cool LA actually is. We arrived in the sunny state of California in the United States to challenge the bad rap that cycling in Los Angeles has seemingly gotten over the years. To get our day started, we made our way up to Silver Lake to learn about one of the shops whose laid-back culture have helped shape this very unique community. As we kick off this tour of LA cycling culture and all the cool stuff that is going on here, I stopped in at the Golden Saddle Cycling to meet up with Jimmy, Mitch, and Mike. Guys, thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks for coming.
Tell me about Golden Saddle and what you guys do and what you represent here in the community.
Well, I guess if I had to describe it in one way, it's kind of a bike shop for everybody. The most important thing to us is providing a space for people to build a community. You know, we have pro cyclists coming here and pro skateboarders and hard chillers, but you know, they all come here. So I mean, we just like to have fun and ride bike.
And when you guys are looking to go out for like your favorite day of riding or something like that, this is a good area to start from, which is what I'm gonna be doing today. I'm gonna be heading over to this West Ridge Loop. Yeah, it seems like you let people be themselves, right? Like there's not this like footprint, like you have to show up in spandex with a helmet, with like this very specific thing that's kind of been ingrained in European cycling culture forever. You guys sort of have, as you look around the shop, you've got famous rappers printed up on jerseys. You've got all types of cool retro things that are here that kind of embody your style and vibe that you're putting out. Free spirited, like you come be yourself.
Yeah.
Come as you are.
We also just so happen to have an anti-doping sign that we got from Tour California, and one of my coworkers, David, had the mind to go ask Floyd for a signature, and so we now have his signature up here.
This was Bruce Gordon's skin suit. Jimmy saw a photo of him wearing it with a bright pink bike as a young man in his office, so obviously they don't really make them like this anymore. I'm sure the chamois is just a chunk of terry cloth or something like that. And the best part is what it's hanging on is a titanium hanger that he says King Cage made in Colorado probably. So titanium hanger on a Bruce Gordon skin suit. one of my favorites in the show.
For people that don't know who Bruce Gordon is, can you maybe tell us like who he was in a minute?
A lot of the stuff that people are riding today was pioneered by that crew and that man. And you know, big tire road bikes is something he's always done, and I think really did something that wasn't happening in cycling at the time.
Yeah, so a very forward thinking, and probably a lot of the culture that we're seeing today started from BG. Happened to see a favorite while we were here at Golden Saddle as well. Let's just see what's up here in the corner. Oh, the Jeremy Powers Rafa Focus National Champion 2012 edition trading card. Gabby Day, my teammate at the time, Zach McDonald. You can see them at Golden Saddle if you come through as well. We just left Golden Saddle and we're making our way on Griffith Park Boulevard up to Griffith Park, which is one of the iconic places that every LA cyclist rides at. It's one of the places that's not closed off to cars, but very low traffic, really beautiful roads, tons of nice pavement, and quite a few miles of good riding in there, pretty much uninterrupted. So we're gonna get up there and check it out, see some of the nice stuff that Griffith Park has to offer. So we made it over to Griffith Park. It's our first stop, and it is so cool out here. Apparently there's over an hour and a half of riding just inside this park, right outside of LA, is our first stop. We're not gonna go through the whole thing or up to the observatory, but apparently the lookout hits the Hollywood sign, and for locals in this area, it is a huge deal because, well, think about it. You're in Los Angeles, but you can literally go park over here at the park, go do an hour and a half of riding. Shoot, you can do this thing twice and get 3 hours of riding in. It's nuts. There's so many things going on down in Los Angeles. To be able to have this resource, beautiful trails, hiking, pretty cool.
After a zip through Griffith Park, we headed down to Hollywood Boulevard to ride with the stars.
Hollywood Boulevard, which is where all the stars are that you see always in the movies. The Oscars are getting stuff set up right now. There's tons of tourists out here, and we just left Golden Saddle. We went up to Griffith Park, and now we're making our way over to some dirt called the West Ridge, which I'm gonna meet up with some of my friends who are in town training, tell us a little bit more about all that. Just got down Sunset Boulevard and made a right onto Mandeville Canyon. Mandeville Canyon is one of the iconic climbs in LA proper. It is over 5 miles long. Over 8,000 people have ridden it on Strava and put their time up on the board. Currently, Phil Guyman sits there at just around 14 minutes, which is insane, nowhere near that. But it's a huge climb. If you're in the area, you've got to hit Mandeville Canyon. So that's not what we're doing. We're actually going up West Ridge, where we're going to link up with some dirt and 2 riders who have a lot of experience, Payson McElveen and Colin Strickland. This is going to take us across all along this ridge, which is going to bring us over to Peddler's Fork. We can have a delicious coffee, catch up with those guys. I just rode up Mandeville Canyon. It's one of the iconic road climbs in LA that everybody does, tons of intervals and lots of sweat going down there. Then I met up with these 2 guys, Payson McElveen, Colin Strickland, very accomplished gravel racers. We're gonna talk about all the things that you guys have done. But tell me what we're doing here.
We're riding up West Ridge Road, a beautiful dirt kind of fire road. Gains a lot of elevation over the course of 15 or 20 minutes and gives you some beautiful views along the way.
Awesome. Thanks for meeting up with me. I can't wait to check it out. Let's do this.
Cool.
Colin, so tell me now, what is it about California that brings you out this way to do some training?
Yeah, I'm out here primarily for the predictably nice weather, as you can see today.
Yeah.
and the just beautiful 30-minute climbs that seem virtually endless when you first arrive and you realize, yeah, well, there's about 15. But you can cut them into a bunch of different pieces and make really solid days out of it. And it's the piece that's missing from my training in Texas.
There's this misconception that riding in LA area is really bad. But when we're out here, it's like,
yeah,
kinda slow.
it's not so bad when you're really out here. I used to be convinced it was really busy, too much to really enjoy the climbs, but a lot of these back canyons of Malibu are virtually empty because not many people have business up there, and if it's not a direct route, no one drives those roads.
You won DK last year. You won Iceland last year, right?
I did, yes.
Yeah, so you've got quite a few big ones under your belt. What do you want to do this year? What's the goal?
Man, have fun, meet more really cool people. But it would be really fun to see how Dirty Kanza goes down again, because that one is seems like currently the biggest show. So
yeah. Paris-Roubaix of gravel.
So yeah, have a good run at that one and see if we can see if I can't repeat.
Cool. Mason, so you're out here. You've kind of made this your base for a couple. How long have you been here now?
Oh boy, 3 weeks maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah. I usually spend 3 months out of my year in California. Probably most of that is in the Los Angeles area.
Yeah, are you one of those guys that you kind of see parked with their van? We would stay down by the river, but down by the beach, just chilling, making coffee in the morning and hanging?
You know, I brought the van this time because I'm going to be bouncing back and forth between San Francisco some.
Okay.
But now and then you want to get out of the city and spend a few nights in a quieter setting. So having the van to kind of escape for a couple days is nice flexibility.
Yeah, what do you love about this that's different than where you typically call home or where you go out? What makes you love the LA riding? What, I guess, and also, what have you been a part of in the area? Like, what rides have you done?
Yeah. Well, for one, it's 30 degrees on average in Durango this time of year. That makes it hard. But also Durango is such a small town, tightly knit, and I love it for that reason. But I'm also someone that really appreciates the speed of life of a bigger city.
Yeah.
I'm really inspired by a lot of the ideas, creative things going on out here. So I'm definitely one of those racers that spends a lot of time thinking about things other than bikes. The training for this, early season style riding can't be beat either.
Right.
Tons of incredible, perfect road climbs, surprisingly little traffic once you get off of PCH.
The legend has it that you have the KOM on this.
I did it one time. Haven't checked in a while.
I'm in town for 2 weeks.
Take it away, man. I need a carrot to chase. I don't race until March, so.
I'm retired. But speaking of racing, what races do you have coming up? Last year you won what was formerly known as the Land Run 100.
Yeah.
So what do you got coming up? What are you planning for this year? You're getting more heavily into gravel.
Yeah, the gravel scene is really hard to ignore. I think I'll always stay a mountain biker at heart. My schedule in 2020 is about 60% mountain bike, 40% gravel. But the gravel surge is just impossible to ignore. That Land Run 100, now called the Mid-South, will be my first race of the year, mid-March, taking on this hitter. Then a few mountain bike races, Belgian Waffle, kind of hitting all the biggest off-road events.
What do you think about riding Leadville 100 on a gravel bike?
I think it's a terrible idea. Drop bar mountain bike could be cool.
Okay.
Could be cool. My buddy T Brown, Travis Brown, did that one year. Full suspension drop bar setup.
Okay.
Pioneer. Personally, I still love a hardtail or a light dual suspension for that event. Gravel bike would be brave.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, I wish you the best of luck this year. I hope to see you top many podiums.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Jeremy.
Is this the top?
This is the top.
That's a nice climb.
Yeah, beautiful, gentle.
It's awesome. And it's pretty unique. I mean, we're here in LA, and there's literally a billion very important things going on, at least seemingly, down in this area. Oceans out there. It's absolutely beautiful, but here you could hear a pin drop right now. Well, guys, thank you. It was awesome riding with you. I wish you both the best. Hope I see you guys at some gravel events.
Jeremy?
Yeah, awesome.
Thanks, man.
Awesome to ride.
Hopefully I see you guys out there. I'm going to Peddler's Fork for coffee. Catch you next time.
The desolate feeling of descending along the West Ridge was nothing short of amazing. Looking out at one of the biggest cities in the United States without anyone really around to bother you other than hikers and a couple gravel riders and maybe an ambitious dog walker, the roads were impeccable for riding your gravel bike, crisscrossing with single-track trails all around you. It wasn't just beautiful, it was ridiculously fun. With the California sun on our backs and that LA haze in the sky, as we made our way to Peddler's Fork, it was nothing short of perfect.
Give us a wave. That was sick. Coming down the mountain, just through the single track, and just tearing it up with that afternoon LA sunlight, just beaming in. Absolutely stunning. I made it to Peddler's Fork, and we're gonna go inside and meet up with the owner, Gideon. This place got a bike shop, coffee shop, restaurant. Over the years, when I did tour California, we used to stop in here and get a coffee, so I have great memories of this. I think you guys are gonna enjoy it. It's cappuccino time. Cheers, man. Thank you. So I found one of the guys behind this whole operation here, 10 Speed Coffee, Peddler's Fork, Gideon Kleiman. Thanks for taking a minute.
Thank you.
Yeah, tell us what's going on in this space because it's absolutely beautiful.
Okay, so yeah, we've been here for going on 7 years. Original idea behind it was a beer garden with this sort of, bike shop in the background, and we always wanted a spot to ride and essentially have beer. You need to have coffee before, so we got into the coffee business full on, met the original owner of 10 Speed up in Hood River, Oregon. The original driving force behind it was, all the cycling amenities. If you don't care about cycling, come hang out. It's a fun theme, fun every now and then to see people coming and going. We do morning rides, we do night rides, and our regular customers, they love it all just the same. It's just a big place to hang out, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah. It's super welcoming. It's really fun. I'm enjoying this delicious coffee and just taking in everything, and it makes you feel really like you're at home. So we're about to head out here. We're going to go up some climb, make our way over to PCH. But thank you so much for hosting us. Thank you for this beautiful space that you've created for Cycling Crew and what you do for this area and the community.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
After some chit-chat about all the cool things that Peddler's Fork had going on, we had to hit the road and beat the setting sun for one last big climb as we made our way over to the Pacific Coast Highway.
So we're climbing the last time of the day. Stunt. I don't know if it's a canyon or a road. I have no idea, but it's a good climb. It's supposed to be about 20 minutes. I've never done this one before. It's really, really pretty. And thank God I got that coffee. About 3/4 of the way up this climb, stunt road, and it is wild, super hard. Been digging, but it's beautiful, and we're just about to the top, so Yeah, not much more to say other than we got to get on with it.
Man. Even if we weren't in LA, this would be pretty. So that's the top of Stunt Road, staring at the Pacific. I'm looking back at these beautiful mountains. Honestly, I could be in Europe. I could be anywhere in the world. This is one of the prettiest places that I've ever checked out. We're gonna fly down here, go down this very steep road, Tuna Canyon, boom, 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 to the PCH, the famous Pacific Coast Highway. We're gonna end down in Santa Monica.
It's broke.
That was the day of it. We started in one part of LA, came all the way across to so much other stuff. This place is awesome. As you can tell, the surfers are finishing up their last sessions of the evening as they tighten things up. The sun's setting. We made it down Tuna Canyon onto the Pacific Coast Highway. We saw a lot of stuff. If you guys have trained in LA or ever been out here, let us know in the comments. Definitely give us a thumbs up. Let us know what area of LA you like riding in the most. There's so many different areas out here. And if you guys want to subscribe to GCN, click right in the center. Check out other cool content over here. You know the drill. In today's video, we're going to learn how to do donuts in a parking lot in a rental car with Tim Johnson. That's actually not what we're going to do.
My GCN colleagues over in the UK tend to make videos about riding in the winter. Every time I see one, I look at them and I think, that is not the winter that I know. For many of us, riding in the winter means that we see unrideable conditions and we have to get friendly with the indoor training. But I've always been curious and thought there's gotta be a better way. And I've known tons of pros over the years that have used cross-country skiing as a way to stay fit in the winter. But like everything, there's been an evolution. So I went up to visit former pros Tim Johnson and Lynn Bassett to learn about a unique way that they train in the harsh winters of Quebec, Canada, doing something that I didn't even know existed called ski mountaineering, or as they called it, Skimo.
All right, TJ, welcome back. After our bromance when we were out in Washington doing all that mud riding and everything, super fun. It's great to have you back.
Hey, thanks for having me.
No, thank you for having me.
It's a little different nowadays, isn't it?
It's a little different, yeah.
What changed?
So we're doing Skimo, which to me, a couple weeks ago, when I was looking at different things to do for being out in the wintertime, staying fit, this was one of the things that you and I talked about. So we're here now.
We are.
What the heck are we doing?
So, you know, this is really my favorite winter activity. We are doing what is considered the cyclocross of skiing with Skimo. Really high intensity, gives you a really good workout by climbing uphill. You stay warm on a day like today. But then once you get to the top, you enjoy some of the best parts of cyclocross, which is going downhill on something that's not meant to go downhill with. Basically, the wrong tool for the job. Tiny little skis. They don't have great control, but they're super fun. So that's why it really matches up well, Skimo and cross.
It's faster than snowshoeing, and the better part is you get to go downhill real fast.
It's way more fun than snowshoeing. Come on, it's not even a comparison.
TJ, it's beautiful up here.
No, even when it's this cold, it's still really nice up here.
Yeah, so we're here at your buddy's place.
Yeah, so my friend Dan, he owns the Velo Cafe, and he's agreed to set you up with skis, boots, poles, basically everything you need to be able to do Skimo.
I am excited, and I cannot wait to get in there because it is freezing out. They have coffee in there?
Yeah, they do. Let's go.
right, so we're here at Velo Endurance Cafe in Quebec with Dan, the owner of, one of the owners of this shop. Dan, tell us what's going on with the equipment today.
Well, we're going to do our favorite sport. We call it ski mountaineering, skimo. Here it's been our sport for 15 years now. So we're going to bring the friends, the cycling friends, up to our training land. So we're going to use like what we call this, it's kind of the road cycling of skimo. So racing skis, super light, like for the training freak and racing freak, those are the tools. And for the gravel bike people in cyclocross, like we have those guys here today, the skis to explore and do all kind of adventure. They are a bit heavier, still quite light, but you can go everywhere in climbing and also going down big cliffs, jumps, around trees, so we're gonna have fun this afternoon.
I love it, thank you. And you guys have set us up, you fit me up, you've got shoes here, you've got helmet, you've got pretty much everything that I needed. You guys also do Nordic ski stuff as well.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is like, if Nordic is the road racing, and then there's like gravel somewhere in there, this is definitely the cyclocross gravel crowd.
I would say so, and the advantage is you can discover a lot. It's a great training, and the season is really long because we can go in almost any kind of conditions.
I feel like some type of brachiosaurus right now.
Oh, excuse me.
I've literally never, ever done this before. I've never even Nordic skied before.
That's why I'm so excited for today. So what we're doing is we're taking a set of skis, boots, and poles. It's really the core of what you need for today.
Yep.
These skis, if you want to pick your foot up here, can you show a little bit? These skis have a skin on the bottom, which allows you to climb up the hill. That's going to allow us to go uphill on this single track. Basically, just like a mountain bike on skis, we're going to climb up for a while, and then when we descend, it's fun and it's fast. You've got very light boots. You have very light binding. You have boots that are specially prepared to allow you to climb uphill. They're very lightweight, and they have a lot of flexibility. So as opposed to a traditional alpine ski boot, which weighs 5 pounds and it's very, very stiff, you want it as stiff as possible, this kind of has a little bit more flexibility. The poles are also different. They're adjustable in height. So when you're climbing, you get the best support you can for your arms. But when you're descending, they're short enough so that when you do a pole plant, you feel like you're on a downhill ski setup.
Okay.
So funny thing is, you've got this great little water bottle holder here. You guys
There's 0-degree temperatures right now. It's actually negative degrees.
Well,
not frozen yet?
Well, the vodka isn't frozen yet, so we're good. We're gonna have something to drink later. This kind of speaks to the athletic portion of skimo. When you're climbing, you have high heart rate, 170 beats a minute. You're cruising along, so you're going to want to have your water close by. You also have a backpack on for extra clothing, extra gloves, extra hat. I mean, I think you're wearing almost everything that we've given you so far today.
Yeah.
But in case you need more, it's going to be in your backpack.
Okay. So we're on our way. We're going to go into the trails, which is like single track, cyclocrossy. I'm scared. Let's go.
Oh yeah, looking good, buddy. Keep it up.
At some point during this whole ordeal, I realized that my legs were howling at me just like I was in a hard training effort. My heart rate was right around threshold, and I was having flashbacks to barely being able to hold on to Tim and Lynn's wheels. Just today, it's not wheels, it's skis. It's cold, but miraculously, I was outside getting in a hard workout with friends, just like if we were out on a hard training ride.
Okay, so we met up here. Lynn, it's great to see you. Thank you so much for coming out with us today. If you guys don't know, Lynn is a 2-time Olympian on the road bike. You also famously won the Nome, was it Nome World Cup?
It was Nome. It was the first time it was a World Cup.
And now it's coming back up again this year, so that's very exciting. In cyclocross, you did a lot of this kind of stuff to stay fit in the wintertime. Tell us about what you would do.
When I was training, I had to do other things because I couldn't, the first couple years of my career, I couldn't really just go to California and live there, you know? I mean, I needed to make money to be able to do that, or meet my husband. That was helpful. So I had to train at home in the winter. And I used to do cross-country skiing a lot, and I would ride my bike inside. The interval part, I would do it on the bike, but all the long-distance stuff, I would either run or cross-country. And a couple of years ago, not more than a couple, maybe 5 or 6, I discovered ski mountaineering. It's a sport that's very popular in Europe, but we use it here because it's great training, and it's something different that keeps us outside in the winter instead of riding in our basement. You know?
Yeah.
So I love it, and it's something that I've been doing a lot over the years.
I love it. I love it. We're about 15 minutes more of ski mountaineering to the top of this thing. There's a beautiful outlook. We'll catch up with you there.
It's really surprising what you can go up with that type of equipment, especially when you have really wide skins and thicker skis. I think there's a bird in the woods.
So you just beat me up all the way up the hill.
Yeah, no problem. That was easy.
That was and now this looks very treacherous going down, but we're going to come back out and we're going to go down back to our
ski area. 1 sec. You try to keep a hand on the ski, okay?
Okay.
Because
it
you know
won't go
why?
away.
Because there's no brakes on it.
Got it.
So you fold the skins. I usually do thirds.
Yep.
In thirds. Take your time. It's really easy, but you don't force it. Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
Click your heel. Down, back. Go, yeah.
Hey.
You got it.
Okay.
And then you finish this with your safety.
All right.
Little pin that you can put in here. Like that.
All right.
So that's one.
Okay.
Then you got it.
I'll get the other one.
He's so confident. I don't know if it's gonna work. Okay, we're watching Jeremy come down the hill. He's got amazing technique. He's doing great. He's gonna try and stop before he gets to us, but I really don't think it's gonna happen. He's gonna hit the ground. Whoa! Go! Oh my God! Proven wrong once again. Incredible technique. He takes to this like a duck takes to water. The happiest guy at skis I've ever seen the first day.
All right, so we've come down, we've done our first run. We're taking in, we're getting a little blood back in our fingers, and now we're gonna go back up, and to put this skin back on, the latch there.
Yep, right at the top.
And then kind of pull it down, and then get it good, and then give it a little run.
So you just want to make sure it's lined up on the edges.
It's not.
So you do a little bit at a time, make sure it's lined up.
Yep.
All the way, usually 2/3 of the ski.
Okay.
And then pick it up off the ground.
Yep.
Very good. Yep, you can put it against your waist, whatever.
Okay.
And then right at the very tail end is the plastic piece.
Oh yeah, right.
Right over the bottom, and then flick it. Yep. Usually sticky the whole way up.
Okay, not a perfect job, but I'll make you redo it. That way I'm good.
Good start.
All right, Tim, so we talked about the boots. We talked about all the differences in boots. We talked about the skis, the differences of skis. Dan was awesome over at Velo Endurance to be able to tell us about everything.
Yep.
Let's talk about technique. We saw Lynn, who was going out for another run. So thank you, Lynn, for being on the show.
As usual.
She's off. She's wearing the skin suit, which we're going to talk about clothing after this. But tell me about technique.
Cyclocross and skimo kind of remind me of each other because in cross, just get it done, get over the barriers to figure out you can do it, and then refine the technique.
Sure.
So same thing with skimo. So refining technique in this case is trying to get uphill as efficiently as possible, and that goes to how you're skiing, how you push the ski forward rather than lifting your foot, placing it on the ground. It also has to do with poles. So as you're poling, you want to use it to keep your momentum going forward. You don't want to try and lift weights with your hands, but you want them to be involved in everything you're doing.
Okay. So like what I was doing when we first got going, the pterodactyl Tyrannosaurus Rex thing that I had going on, that wasn't right?
Well, it's fine to start off with. It's not something you want to keep doing.
Okay. Lynn went by here in a skin suit.
Yeah.
That was scary for me because it's literally -degrees out.
It's very, very cold.
I'm wearing a ton of my GCN kit. Like I'm just wearing cycling stuff under here.
As we talked about, when I first started doing this, I would just wear my bike clothing.
Okay.
I would dress like I was going for a cold ride, but I wouldn't dress like I was going to, shovel snow in the driveway. I would go because I would get really hot. I would dress like I'm gonna get hot. So go ahead. People can start off wearing thermal base layer, thermal pants with thermal jackets on top. So you are wearing your GCN kit on any given day that's not, 0 degrees Fahrenheit. For sure. You have one layer on your legs, bib tights, thermal bib tights.
Yep.
Upper body, you have a nice wool undershirt to regulate your temperature.
Yep.
Long sleeve, it may be a vest or a wind vest on top. And then, the helmets, this is a Skimo helmet specific for the sport, but you can use a bike helmet.
Sure.
You want to make sure that you've got your neck warm, you've got your head warm. Gloves, you know that it's unusual to see me wearing gloves.
Yeah.
Usually, I would actually not wear gloves when I'm going uphill really quickly.
Yes.
But, because it is so cold, I've got a big one on me today.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, cool. All right, well, that's beautiful. Let's go do another run, and then let's get the heck out of here. It's freezing.
Before it gets too dark, we gotta go.
Okay.
Dude, that was an incredible day out. I had so much fun ski-moing. We were talking before, people are not just doing this here in Quebec or in New England or whatever, people are doing this worldwide. You were showing me pictures. Romain Bardet, a bunch of big pro riders are actually doing this stuff.
It's big in Europe, it's big in France, Switzerland. Some of the races have thousands of people in it.